You open your laptop, tap your phone, launch a game, join a Zoom call. But have you ever stopped to wonder, what's actually running your device? Behind every screen you touch, there's an invisible system doing all the work. We call it the operating system, and today, you'll finally understand how every major one works, from Windows to macOS to Linux and beyond. Let's begin. Let's start with the big one, Windows. Released in 1985, Windows began as a basic interface built on top of MS-DOS. No start menu, no taskbar, just boxes, but it evolved into the most used desktop operating system on the planet. Windows runs on nearly every PC, Dell, HP, Lenovo, whatever you've got. It supports games, spreadsheets, music software, even programming tools. It's flexible, it's familiar, and it gets the job done. But it's also heavy on resources. Older machines slow down, updates pop up at the worst time, and yes, the blue screen of death still exists. Still, for most users, Windows is the go-to. Now let's head to the Apple ecosystem, macOS. Launched in 2001, macOS only runs on Apple devices, MacBooks, iMacs, Mac Minis, and that tight integration, it's what makes it smooth, stable, and fast. You open it, it just works. No driver issues, no weird compatibility bugs. macOS is built for creatives, designers, video editors, music producers. Tools like Final Cut Pro and GarageBand are baked in. If you've got an iPhone or iPad, macOS syncs your messages, files, and even your clipboard instantly. But Mac hardware is expensive, gaming support is limited, and some professional apps not available. Still, if you value design, reliability, and Apple's seamless experience, macOS is hard to beat. Now, let's get nerdy. Linux. Back in 1991, a Finnish programmer named Linus Torvalds wanted to build a free alternative to expensive systems, and he did. Linux isn't one OS, it's a family. Distributions like Ubuntu, Fedora, Debian, and Arch, each with their own strengths. Linux runs on old laptops, powerful servers, even Raspberry Pi. It's open source, lightweight, and secure. Most of the internet runs on Linux. Google, Facebook, NASA, their servers trust it, but it's not beginner-friendly. You'll need to use terminal commands, and many mainstream apps like Photoshop or games don't run natively. If you're into programming, cybersecurity, or server management, Linux is your playground. Now for something simpler, Chrome OS. Launched by Google in 2011, Chrome OS is built around the Chrome browser. It's light, fast, and cloud-first. No bulky software, no clutter. You log in, and you're instantly in Docs, Gmail, YouTube. It powers Chromebooks, affordable laptops with fast boot times and automatic updates, perfect for schools, students, and web-based work. But no internet, no productivity. Power users, not the target. Heavy apps like Photoshop or high-end games, not really an option, unless you're using cloud streaming. Still, for simplicity and speed, Chrome OS is surprisingly powerful. Let's look at your phone. Chances are, it's running Android. Android powers over 70% of smartphones worldwide. It's built on Linux, and it's all about control. You want custom widgets? Done. Third-party launchers? No problem. Sideload an app from outside the store? Go ahead. It runs on everything, from budget phones to ultra flagships, Samsung, OnePlus, Xiaomi, all Android. But there's a trade-off. Not all phones get regular updates. Some come packed with bloatware, and apps aren't always as optimized as on iOS. Still, if you want choice and customization, Android is king. But that's not all. Android is also deeply integrated with Google's ecosystem. You've got Google Maps, Gmail, Google Assistant, and smart syncing across your devices, your photos, apps, contacts, all restored in minutes. It just works, man. And the hardware variety. Massive, foldable phones, rugged phones, phones with 10x zoom or built-in styluses. There's an Android for everyone. Developers love it too. More freedom, more flexibility, fewer restrictions than iOS. But if you care about absolute consistency or longest software support, you may want to wait for the next part, because now we're heading into Apple territory. Speaking of iOS, iOS is Apple's mobile OS, exclusive to iPhones and iPads. It's polished, secure, and tightly controlled. No sideloading, no deep system tweaks. But it runs smooth. Updates arrive on time. And Apple's App Store? Carefully curated. Apps often launch first, or perform better, on iOS. And if you're in the Apple ecosystem, everything syncs. Your Mac, Watch, AirPods, even Clipboard. Downsides, it's restrictive, limited customization, no expandable storage, and premium pricing. But for stability, privacy, and long-term support, iOS delivers. And there's something else. Developers prioritize iOS. Why? Because iPhone users tend to spend more and expect higher quality. That's why many new apps, and even games, land on iOS first. Apple also enforces strict privacy rules. Apps must ask before tracking, and system permissions locked down by default. It's why iPhones are trusted by journalists, business execs, even heads of state. You don't get total freedom, but you get peace of mind. So if you want a phone that just works, quietly, reliably, every single day, iOS is hard to beat. Now let's rewind, all the way back to the origin, Unix. Created in the 1960s at Bell Labs, Unix was designed for high-performance servers and research systems. Multi-user, multitasking, rock solid, and even today, its legacy lives on. macOS, built on Unix, Linux, inspired by it. Android and iOS share its roots. You won't see Unix in consumer laptops, but behind the scenes, it's everywhere, from banks to weather centers. It's the quiet giant of operating systems, and it's still evolving. Modern Unix systems power some of the most critical infrastructure on Earth. Telecom networks, medical imaging, high-frequency trading systems. When downtime isn't an option, Unix shows up. It's built for uptime, months, even years, without a reboot. And security? Tight, battle-tested, trusted by engineers for over 5 decades. You won't find flashy graphics or app stores here. Just speed, control, and reliability at scale. In the world of operating systems, Unix isn't loud, it just runs. And then there's BSD, Berkeley Software Distribution. Think of BSD as Unix's cousin. It was built at UC Berkeley and powers some seriously important systems. The PlayStation 4 and 5, BSD-based. Netflix's content delivery network, BSD. Firewalls like pfSense and OPNsense? Yep, BSD again. BSD is clean, efficient, and stable. It's not flashy, but in the world of networking, servers, and infrastructure, it's trusted. So, what's the takeaway? Windows is everywhere. macOS is for creatives and Apple fans. Linux runs the internet. Chrome OS is for the cloud. Android gives you power and flexibility. iOS gives you polish and control. Unix and BSD keep the world running quietly in the background. Every OS has its strengths. The real question is, which one fits you? Drop a comment below. Tell us what you're using and why. Subscribe for more. See you in the next one.